Hi, we're making stuff with flowers. So what I have here, which is a little off camera, so let me move the camera, is 9 ounces of my 1-to-1 resin that I have sitting in a little pot of warm water because it is very cold inside the craft room slash office slash living room slash whatever. It's about 62 degrees in here. And I want to warm up this resin before I try to really do anything with it because it's very thick, very cold. Um, so I've gotten it stirred up, but I wanted to warm it up a little bit. So now that I have achieved that, I will move my container of water off to the side and get out the cup so we can work on it. How's that sound? Sounds good. All right. Now, what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be adding these flowers into this resin. This is lily flower. This is Kunlun snow chrysanthemum. This is calendula. And this is uh, silk tree something. It's that. So anyway, I'm going to be adding these in there. So let's do that. And I'm not doing anything terribly exciting. I'm just adding some of each to my resin. And then we're going to stir it up. And then once everything is in there, we're going to run it through the bubble remover. Now these calendula are bigger. So I am going to kind of break them up a little bit just to get the petals and not so much the green bits. Because I think that it'll look a little bit better. Plus we're focusing on the orange here. Come on, orange. Right, now these snow chrysanthemums. These remind me of teeny tiny little sunflowers. All right, and now our lily. Now these lily are bigger. That's obviously, lily. So if I see any big, huge ones, I'm going to break them apart. For the most part, in this container, it is just the leaves, not so much the innards of the lily. Go ahead and get these poked down so I can add more. More. All right. So I think for this part, we've got a pretty good mixture, good blend of our little flower buddies. Now, since we've got our flowers in there now, what I am going to do is I am going to run this whole thing with the flowers and everything through my bubble remover because these little flowers will give off all kinds of air. So I'm going to do that off camera and I'll see you back. So the mold that we are going to be using is this. This is a very large Let's Resin tray that I love. It has the flared edges, which is very cool. And this beast takes 19.3, so basically 19 and a half ounces of resin. Now, off camera, while our flowers were in the bubble remover, I made up another 8 ounces of resin that I have added 3 drops of my orange red about alcohol ink to. So that's off to the side doing its thing. Now, let me tell you a little bit about how I did this. You saw me add the flowers into the resin and give them a mix. So when I put it into the bubble remover, I let it run for about 3 minutes. And because of all of the air in the flowers, all of the flowers rose up to the top. So generally what I do is, to get all of the air out of it and to make sure that the flowers are good and saturated, is I will let it run for about 3 minutes, shut it off, release the vacuum. So all of the air, goes out, all of the vacuum goes out, and consequently that pulls the resin into the flowers. So it sucks up the resin into the spaces where the air was, and then poke them down into, poke the flowers down into the resin, put it back into the remover, run it for another 3 minutes, and pretty much, lather, rinse, repeat until the majority of the bubbles are out. And you can see, for the most part, without me tipping it too far and dumping everything out, all of the flowers are now all the way through the resin. Let me see if I can make it a little bit better. Here, you can kind of see. So that way I know that they're good and saturated, that they have plenty of resin in them, and most of the air is out. Now, is all of the air out? No. But the majority of it is, so we shouldn't have any problems. But if there are air bubbles here and there, okay, it's resin, it doesn't stay. So this is starting to get a little bit warm, so I am going to go ahead and pour this in. And it is very thick, obviously, because of the flowers. So I'm going to get this in here and start moving those around while the clear, essentially, resin is finishing up degassing on its side. And this will give me the opportunity to maneuver things around and get a good dispersal of floral fabulousness. Right? Yep. All right, so I pull the stick a little bit, get you back in there. And plus, it'll also give me the opportunity to poke down into the rim of the flowers, right? Because they will, clump up into little groups. So we need to help them along sometimes. One of the things I like about this mold is it's very forgiving. The sidewalls are easily movable. You can maneuver them around with your hands. You can stick stuff in the rim easier. Like I said, I made 9 ounces and then 8 ounces, so a total of 17. So is this going to fill the whole thing up? No, it's not. I'm still going to have some room left, and but that'll lend me to be able to put in a back coat or bottom coat, or whatever you want to call it. People have different terminologies for things that they use, but it's all essentially the same thing. You want to get the bigger bits around the edges, little beads and berries. Need a little more on this side. So now that I've got everybody pretty much poked down there, here's the rest of my resin. Like I said, this is not filling the whole thing up. So if there's any little bits poking out at the bottom, I'm not real concerned about it, because when we do fill it up, I'm just getting over here to the side so I can kind of get an idea. When we do fill it up, it'll cover up a lot of these little pieces that are still pokey-uppy, but if there's any big, huge pokey-uppies, then I can go ahead and move them around and hopefully make them less pokey-uppy. I don't know if that makes any sense, but it does to me. So there you go. Some of these bigger berries I am gonna have to keep an eye on. I might move some of them, but I'm really liking the way that this looks so far. I even like the little stems. I think that gives it personality and makes it a bit more natural looking, Makes it look like, oh, hey, yeah, these are real flowers and not just, fake ones. Because they are real flowers. They're just dry. All right. So we're going to let that sit and cure and do its thing. And I'll keep an eye out for bubbles and things like that. But I will see you guys for next steps. See you then. All right, we're back and we are ready for our coat, top coat, back coat, bottom coat, whatever coat. So I have 2.5 ounces of my epoxy over here that I mixed together, and I have decided that I'm going to go with a combination of red gold and reddish orange. Not a big, huge amount of either one, but I do want a little bit of color in there. So right, so there's that. Looking good. And it is still sheer, but it'll give it, I think, a very nice accentuating back. All right, see you guys when it's time to do more. All right, it's time. Let's see what we got. I love these little handles on the side. You just go bloop, and it just separates beautifully. All right. That actually looks really cool. Oh yeah, look at that. Very, very cool. It's got some bubbles around the edges, but that's fine. I can go around it with a deburring tool, which I'm fine with. But those little flowers all over, oh gosh, that just looks so cool. Excuse me. Just awesome looking. I really like that a lot. So yeah, what do you guys think? Let me know what you think down in the comments. I would love to hear your opinions. So yeah, well, as always, thank you guys so much for being here. I really do appreciate it. And I do hope to see you again in the next one. Take care, guys. Cheers.